Alright, so I'm going to be showing how to open up and disassemble this Dell Inspiron 5570. Alright, so first thing we're going to do is we're going to use a PH1 or JS1 screwdriver to remove all the screws from the bottom. Alright, you want to keep all the screws in order because they can be different size, shape, and lengths. I always like to work on it with the hinge facing away from me. Alright, so anyways, I'm going to go ahead and start removing these screws first. Okay. There we go. This might actually keep the screws in place, so if that's the case, just leave that there. Okay, let's go ahead and take this. Alright, and the screw stays in place there as well. So you want to undo the screws. One time I was talking about this, and then I said just undo the screws but don't remove them, and then someone was telling me that they didn't unscrew those for some reason, and they thought that's what I meant. But anyways, alright, you want to keep all the screws in order because they can be different size, shape, and length. The way I do that, flat side down like this, in the pattern you remove them. So you got that one up there, then I'll put these three in a row. Whatever helps you remember, just put them in that pattern on your desk. Alright, and if this video helps you out, make sure to like, subscribe, share my channel with others so that they can learn how to upgrade and repair their devices as well. If it helps you save a bunch of money, please consider contributing a little to the channel. Every little bit helps and allows me to continue making these videos for a living. Alright, anyways, let's go ahead and continue getting all these screws out. There we go. So now that we got all those screws out, let's go ahead and open this up slightly. Of course, you do want to make sure that your computer is off if it wasn't already. Okay, this is already off. The screen is having some issues, so we're going to be replacing that. Originally, the hinges actually broke down here, and I actually repaired that with JB Weld. I have videos showing how to do that, but because it's always different for every single model and every single way it broke, I usually don't record those. But anyways, let's go ahead and pop this out. So as you can see, I get my fingernails in the gap here, okay, and then I use my thumb on the back to push to pop it open. All right, so let me show you that. So we're just going along here just like this. All right, again, you don't have to use fingernails. You can use plastic pry tools, whatever works for you, whatever you have. This just happens to be what I have on hand. All right. All right, anyways, we're gonna go ahead and do that. And if you're wondering, for me, it's a lot easier doing it this way than using pry tools, and that's why I do this. All right. Usually, the only time I'll use pry tools is if I like broke all my fingernails and I can't do it this way. All right. So, anyways, we're gonna continue. Make sure that everything is unclipped. That side was kind of stuck. All right. So I think we got most of those clips out. We got these. I hope they're not hiding screws under here. Okay, it doesn't look like it. And then this part can be a little tricky here. But basically what I'm doing is I'm getting in this gap here, pulling up and using my palm to kind of basically pull it up like this, all right? And this is why this works better than pry tools, because pry tools you can only like pull it up like this. This one you can apply pressure elsewhere while you're kind of prying, and it does help quite a bit with opening this stuff up, all right? So we're going to do it this way again. Same thing with pry tools. You can only pry in here and do this. You can't apply this outward force over here. Or if you can, it's way more difficult. All right, we're going to go, oops, sorry. We'll go over here and pop that. And you can see this kind of popped out. All right, we're going to work our way around, and there we go. Okay, so what we're doing, because we're working on the screen, we have to disconnect the battery. So we got this open, as you can see. All right, not too bad. It's somewhat clean inside. I don't know if I opened this already. I don't think I did. So, yeah, I don't think I did because there's a little fine dust here. So we're just going to brush that off. And then we're just going to kind of blow that out. All right. It's actually, this laptop's pretty clean inside. I'm surprised. Okay. So, as far as what's inside here, I mean, what I'm mainly focusing on is disconnecting the battery and then going from there. This thing is a little dusty, so let me actually clean this real quick. Okay. There we go. Okay. All right. So let's go ahead and zoom in. There we go. And you got this. So you got the BIOS or CMOS battery here. Okay. If you want to remove that, you can reset the BIOS. You just have to grab the wings and kind of just wiggle this to pull the connector out. I'm going to leave that there. They have a 2.5-inch SATA hard drive caddy here with the 4 screws taped in place, and you got the connector here. I'm not going to mess with that, but if you wanted to use that, it looks like it's already plugged in because there's this cable here, right? You got the keyboard connector over here. Sorry, I'm jumping all over the place. Let's finish this. So there's a USB port here, which this cable runs all the way under, and it connects up here, okay? Hard drive, you got the fingerprint sensor here. You got the touchpad connector here. They actually label it TP and all of that. There's some models with a keyboard backlight, but there's no keyboard backlight on this one. Keyboard connector here. These are all like flip latch things to remove, and then you can pull the cable out. All right, we got 2 sticks of RAM here. I'll pop this RAM out just to show you what it is. If you're handling the RAM and stuff inside the computer, you want to make sure you're grounded. Basically touching something metal or something that normally if you touch it will shock you. Basically that pulls the static electricity away and reduces the risk of damaging your computer. All right, so here you go, PC4 2400T. If you want, you can get another 8 gig stick, so you have 2 matching sticks and have 16 gigs total. You can also get 2 16 gig sticks and have 32 gigs total, but 16 gigs is a whole bunch of RAM, so most people won't really need that much. All right. Anyways, you got the LCD LVDS cable running along here, plugging down there. Looks like I'm guessing this is the power button and stuff. So there's power button and cables running here, and they plug right down there. Actually, let me carefully open this up. When you don't have the bottom cover on, you want to be very careful opening it slowly. Okay, so I think that's part of the fingerprint sensor and the power button. So yeah, the fingerprint sensor cable goes here, runs underneath the motherboard, and then plugs in there. Interesting. Fan connector here. Then the fan. Optical disk drive. So on some models they actually have a CD drive, and that's what this slot is for. This one has a connector where you kind of like pull it up and then it releases the cable. All right, wireless card here. I'm not going to remove that. And you got the DC jack charge port connector here. It runs along underneath and then goes under the hinge here. If you need to replace that, there's the screws you got to remove here, and then you can fold up the hinge. Sometimes if you can't pull the hinge up by hand, you can open the laptop slightly and then remove the screws. Once you've done that, you can slowly lower this down and the hinge will stay up, but you want to be careful that the part of the hinge here doesn't damage anything on the other sides. Okay, and let's see here what else we got. Oh, there's pieces of this thing all falling apart. So this screw in the middle likely isn't going to hold anymore, so we're going to be missing this screw because that's also broken. Okay, what else we got? All right, the speakers. Both speakers connect to each other. There's a wire running along the bottom, connects over there, and then plugs right into, into here. Not this is the audio jack. All right, and then you got an M.2 PCIe NVMe SSD. 2 screws holding it in place. Looks like both PH1 or JS1 screws. Then once you pop that up, you can kind of, this one actually there's this thing in the way, so I think you have to slide it back. If not, usually you lift it up at an angle and then you can pull it back. You can put a full-size M.2 SSD in here. I don't know if that's a SATA or PCIe NVMe. I would assume it supports PCIe NVMe, so if you do buy one, I would highly recommend going with M.2 PCIe NVMe. And yeah, for the price, currently I would go with the Crucial ones, but the prices will change, so yeah. Anyways, we're going to disconnect the battery here. The battery, I didn't mention, but the battery model number here is WDX0R. This is a very common battery, and Dell uses it on a lot of their laptops. Anyways, let's go ahead and disconnect this. So I just used my fingernails at the wings here, and I kind of just wiggle this, and you just keep wiggling it, and eventually it should pop out. If you don't have very strong fingernails, then whatever tools you can get that can kind of grip it like that, because that was pretty difficult to pull out. And I don't know if you can see, but that kind of put a little ding in my fingernail, and eventually I'm going to have to cut that because it's going to start getting caught on stuff. And there we go. So now that we've disconnected the battery, what we're going to do, we're going to open up the screen. And we're going to press and hold the power button here for 15 seconds. This will greatly reduce the risk of damaging your computer. Some people ask me if they have to do it. I mean, it's kind of like putting your brakes on your car when you're parking down a hill or something. I mean, you don't have to, but it greatly reduces the risk of anything going wrong. All right, anyways, we'll close this up. I am going to have to figure out this cable situation here, because I think when their hinge broke, it popped out weird. anyways, let's go ahead and zoom out. We're going to pop the screen bezel out. So let's go ahead and carefully open this up. All right. We're going to start up here, and what we're going to do, we're going to pull the inside part up, push the outside part down and inwards. All right, so just like this, and here you can see the hinges or the clips pop out just like that. All right, so you want to do that. We're just going to go all the way around, and same thing here, pull the inside up and the outside inwards. Okay, just like that, and here you can see it's coming out a lot easier now. Okay, again, I did already work on this before to replace the hinge screws with epoxy or JB Weld because the hinge screws were all ripped out and broken. All right, so apparently the hinge mechanism on this is not very good. All right, these clips are a little bit difficult to get out. There we go. Let's actually rotate the computer. I'm gonna flip it over. You want to be careful depending on your surface that you're working on. It could be a little bit dangerous to flip it down like this. So yeah, just be careful. All right. Everybody's situation's different, so I don't know what you're working with. All right. But anyways, we're going to continue pulling this forward here, and there you go. So we got the bezel out. Here you can see, I don't know how this cable is supposed to be, if it's supposed to go on top or underneath or what. But anyways, we got this out. Here you can see how I did the JB Weld. I put saran wrap on top, which we can actually peel away now. You don't have to leave that in there. And that was just so that the epoxy doesn't stick to the bezel itself. And then we can get rid of it, all right? So JB Weld doesn't really stick to saran wrap well because saran wrap can easily deform. And the JB Weld it can't because it's solid, all right? So there we go. All right. Okay, so we got that all out. Next thing we're going to do, we need to remove the LCD. All right, this screw here down here is broken, so we'll see if we can remove that or not, but I'm not too sure. All right, so I'm going to rotate this. Okay, and we're going to remove the 4 screws here. Oh, actually, the screw's coming out now. Nice. Okay, so we got that one, this one. Okay, and we got the 2 over here. There we go. I'm going to knock over stuff that's behind my desk. All right, so we're going to get those 4 screws out. All right, now that we got those 4 screws out, what we're going to do, we're going to tip the laptop back over here, and we're going to just pull the screen forward. I like to use these screw mount areas to help pull this forward. So basically I'm going to do that on both sides, all right, and we're just going to tip the screen forward. So just like this, and here you can see we have the screen. I know for some reason it's not focusing. There we go. Focus! It's too white. It can't tell what to focus on. There we go. All right, so we're going to peel this up now. It looks like someone peeled this off or replaced it in the past. Once you've done that, we're going to go ahead and flip this latch up. And then once you flip that latch up, you can grab both sides here and pull this back. Just like this. All right, there we go. And yeah, there we go. All right, so here you can see the model of the screen. NT156FHM-N41. All right, so we're going to open the replacement screen now and see what we got. Okay, let's go ahead and grab this. All right, it's still in its box. We actually need to cut this thing open, so let's zoom out here. I don't want to zoom out too far though. Anyways, we're going to cut this thing open. And then we're going to see what we got inside. All right. Hopefully this is the right screen because I've been ordering a lot of screens for customers recently. So I want to make sure we get the right one. Okay. There we go. All right. So we got that. We're going to pop this open. We'll grab this out. Okay, it looks like they put a box in the box and with more bubble wrap. So how do we get this? Did they tape this on somehow? That's what it's got. It looks like they didn't tape it on. We're just going to roll this off. Okay, very well padded and protected. Now we're going to cut this open. Looks like there's 3 pieces of tape. There we go. All right, so we got that. All right, no tape on the sides. Let's go ahead and open this thing up. They're going to put a bunch more stuff inside that I'm going to have to... All right, so oops, you don't need to see all that. Okay, let me see here. Huh, this one is showing different. What is this LQ156M something something? Give me a second. I need to make sure that I have the right package, and I'll be back. All right, see you guys in a bit. Oh no, so it turns out I thought I ordered this screen, but apparently not. So the screen that I was about to take out is actually for another gaming laptop, which has a very high refresh rate. So I'm actually going to have to order this screen, and I guess you guys will see me when I'm back from that. Anyways, yeah, I'll see you then. Bye. Alright, so it's been a while since I worked on this laptop. I think this is the same model as the one I'm working on that has the charging issue, that I actually will also upload a video around the same time. Anyways, let's pop this cover back off. I think I already showed that. If not, you can watch the other video I just made. They're going to be uploaded around the same time, so you should be able to find them in my channel. Okay, anyways, pop that out. Excuse me. Okay, since we're replacing the screen on here, I am going to have to disconnect the battery. Hopefully I already mentioned all the stuff that's in this model. I think I did, because I did quite a long recording on this. Alright, so we just popped the battery connector out. Oh, I didn't even check, but it's WDX0R, battery model number. I think on the other video I forgot to mention that, but I think this one I already mentioned all the stuff in here. Let's go ahead and carefully open this up. We're going to press and hold the power button for about 15 seconds. All right. This one, I had to epoxy these hinge screws into place because the hinge screws were actually going bad and just ripping out of the laptop. So that, and then we're going to replace the screen here. Okay. So there we go. I think I held that long enough. For the screen, it looks like we have to remove 4 screws. Let me actually flip this so you guys can see. Let me zoom out a bit. Okay, so we're going to be just swapping the screen now. Hopefully this time I actually got the right screen. Let me actually open the box up real quick and confirm. Oh, actually, it's an Amazon package, so hopefully that's right, because I had some other packages that said they delivered, and then I was worried it didn't look like they actually shipped me the right thing. So we got this box, NT156 FHM. Okay, I think that was right. Let's go ahead and remove the screws here again. Yep, we're using the PH1 or JS1 screwdriver. I'm going to remove the 4 screws holding these into place. And then I'll just confirm that the model number on the screen is the same. We'll pop it open if it is, and we'll install that. All right, I think I already mentioned, because I popped this out. Hopefully, if not, let me know. I'm pretty sure I have another video of this model where I kind of take everything out. This model seems to be a pretty common one that needs repairs of all different types. Okay, so once we've gotten that, all the screws out, we're going to actually pull the screen forward here. And from both sides, okay. And we're going to just let it fall forward slowly. Okay, so NT156 FHM N41. That's correct. So that's what we're going to be doing. Let's go ahead and peel this up again. All right, I think I already showed this earlier. Okay, peel that up, flip that latch back, and then we're going to grab that and pull that back, just like that. Okay, I'm going to set this broken screen aside. We're going to get the replacement one. Okay, a lot of bubble wrap on it. This one actually isn't crazy well packaged like most of the other screens I have. It only actually has like 1 layer of bubble wrap, as you can see, but it is taped on there, so I have to peel this tape off or something. Okay, gotta be careful with this screen. You don't want to damage it. Okay, it's very thin and fragile. Alright, I'm gonna unwrap the plastic and get rid of this foam stuff. Okay, so we got the screen here. You want to make sure that it's also matte. It doesn't need to be matte, but if you want it to be the same, you want to check that, peel off that protective coating. Alright, so here you can see the model number is actually different, but they sell it as a compatible screen. So let's go ahead and connect it and make sure everything's working. Okay, so we're going to get the connector lined up, grab both sides near the bottom of the latch, push it, pull it in until it stops. Flip that latch back down. All right, click that into place on both sides. All right, there we go. And then we're gonna go ahead and pull this up and stick that down. Good. All right, next thing we're gonna do, let's actually zoom back out here. Oops, why isn't it? There we go. We'll zoom back out. Oop, not that far. And then we'll lift the screen back up into place. Okay, you want to get all 4 corners back in. Part of the cable actually doesn't go into those little grooves, if you remember. So let me rotate this so you can see again. Okay, so we get the 3 of these grooves, and this one, you don't put it into the groove down there. Then we're just going to get the 4 screws in to hold the screen into place. Alright, get this lined up. What is this? There's some broken plastic in there. We're going to throw that so it doesn't get in the way and damage the screen. Okay. So we got those 2 screws. Let's get the last 2. I found out the cable is, I believe, supposed to be behind the hinge, not in front. Okay, and this screw is a little wonky because the plastic underneath is broken, but it does go in. Okay. And then we'll get this screw in. All right, next thing we gotta do is reconnect the battery, of course. So we're gonna slowly, carefully close this. Get the battery cable back lined up. Okay, it's very important that you get this lined up when you put this back into place. All right, and then we're gonna pinch both sides in like that. Let's go ahead and power this guy back up and see if the screen powers on okay. So I'm gonna press it to power it on, and then I'm going to press the F2 button, all right, to go into the BIOS. So we're pressing F2. I saw the screen flash, and we do see the Dell logo, and you see the entire screen looks okay. So, oops, let's zoom out here so you can actually see that it's okay. All right, there we go. It looks good. So now all we got to do is put the bezel back on. Why is it so blurry? I don't know. All right, so we're going to peel this off. We're going to roll this thing off. You don't want to pull it straight up. You want to roll it off so that way it doesn't separate the layers of the screen. All right, looks good. Set that plastic stuff aside. Let's go ahead and get the bezel now. Okay, so we got the bezel here. Hopefully it will all fit back on properly. So just get this all lined up. Get that back into place. Why is it so blurry? Focus. Okay, there we go. I don't know why it doesn't want to focus on this for some reason. Maybe it's trying to focus on the reflections. Okay. Anyways, we're going to first snap in the top, so you kind of just line up the edges and then just push it from the outer edge down, okay? And the clips should automatically re-engage on their own, all right? We're just pushing the outer edge. If the clips don't go in, you can kind of lift this middle piece in and kind of help it sometimes, all right? So kind of do that. Okay. All right, once you kind of start getting it going, we're going to actually flip it over this way so you can kind of see a little bit better. And I'm just going to push all these clips back in, okay? And we got to kind of work to get these in. You might have to open the screen up a little bit more and then see about this part can be a little tricky, okay? So we're going to try and get this all lined up again. I might have to do the bottom side first on this model. Okay, well, okay, what I'm going to do here, I'm going to kind of lift this side up a little bit. Okay, and then we're going to try and use that to help guide this into place. Oh, I think that might be, there we go. Okay, so I had to push this, and then I can push this down. So push this forward, and then we can get this into place. For some reason, this clip doesn't want to go in, but we'll figure it out. Okay, and we'll get all of this back in. And some of it, it's kind of like those clips are actually broken, so it looks like they're not going to want to stay into place. But get all the clips you can back into place. Okay, there we go. All right, so I think we got that. Let's go ahead and carefully close this up. Take a look what we got here. You can see these clips, some of them don't want to go, mainly this one, because of the cable where it broke. So hopefully it will be okay. As you saw, the screen is working okay. So let's go ahead now and get the bottom cover back on. Just line it up. Okay, push everything back down to clip it all into place. And then we'll just get all the screws back in. And that's pretty much all there is to this model. Alright, so hopefully this video helped you guys out. If it did, make sure to like, subscribe, share my channel with others so that they can learn how to upgrade and repair their devices as well. If it helps you save a bunch of money, please consider contributing a little to the channel. Every little bit helps and allows me to continue making these videos for a living. Other than that, you're welcome to stay as I put back the rest of the screws, but that's pretty much all there is to it. Alright, so let's get these in. It also helps click all those clips in. After that, you want to open it up and double check all the clips, make sure everything looks good. Alright. Of course, you don't want to forget the 3 screws up here. Sorry. I'm running on almost no sleep. For some reason, I don't feel tired, but I don't know. Alright, make sure to clip everything back in. Alright. There we go. Let's flip this over and let's open it up. And looks like it works okay, even with that weird clip having issues over here. And yeah, everything looks good on here. We can go ahead and put back their keyboard protector cover here that they had. Okay, and I think that's pretty much it. Their screen's good, their hinges are good. The only problem is that weird gap here because of that other one. So if anything, I could always just use some tape to hold this in place. Let me actually do that for them real quick, just so it looks a little bit better. Okay, yeah, this isn't really necessary. This issue is 100% cosmetic. Okay, so it's not necessary at all, but if you want to make it completely like without a gap, you can get some tape like this. Okay, and just thread it through. Actually, it might help for me to open this up and thread it through the other way. So I'm going to open it this way. And what we're going to do, we're going to try and thread it through here if we can. If not, we'll have to do it the other way. Yeah, I don't know if I'll be able to thread it through that way. So I'm just kind of wiggling it side to side, hoping to tuck it in. Let's go ahead and see if we can take this side down now. Okay, I'll try and get this as flush as possible. Looks like it's still a little bit crooked. Let's see if I close this, will I have access to the other side of the tape? If I do, then I might be able to actually pull it through, and I kind of do. So let's see if I can pull this through. Yes, I can. Perfect. All right, so now that we got that, we're just going to pull it tight, wrap it over. Okay, if you want to ensure that it sticks, you can actually wrap it over all the way to the back edge, but it won't look as good. All right, but I'll let the customer decide what they want to do. We could always just cut that off later or something, but there we go. Okay, so now you can see this piece. Oh, I might need to tape it even stronger. Let me peel that back up and pull that better. Sorry, I know I'm like going off camera. Basically, I'm just holding it into the position I want it to stay and taping it down, and there we go. I mean, there's still a little gap, but it's a lot better. Okay, there we go. And then we can just open it and close it, and it looks good to go. So we're going to shut it off, and that's pretty much it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one. All right, let's drop this. Bye.